All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick's Trying the Power. So in this video, I want to talk about two guys from the classic physique division, Regan Grimes and Wesley Vissers. Now, Regan and Wesley were arguably two of the biggest and most anticipated Olympia debuts this year for the classic physique division. But neither one of them really placed where people expected them to place. Regan Grimes taking 8th place at the classic physique Olympia, and Wesley tying for last, 16th place. So I think as a result of that, we really learned a lot this year about what the judges are looking for in classic physique and what the criteria really is. At the first couple classic physique Olympias, a lot of people were saying, the judges are looking for a true classic physique. They don't want the legs to be as big. They don't want the conditioning to be as good, because back in the day, the guys weren't really as conditioned, and they didn't really have the legs that the guys today have. Guys like Arnold were a bit softer, but they still had these crazy classic physiques. So a lot of people thought early on that's what they were looking for from the classic physique division. They wanted it to be exactly like the old school guys. Well, I think we learned this year that that is not the case. Number one, we know they want guys with really good legs. And number two, they're definitely placing an emphasis and rewarding good conditioning here. And I mention that because I think that's the reason why Regan and Wesley both didn't place as well as people expected them to. Is number one, immediately looking at Regan, I think his conditioning was off. I mean, he looked really good in his progress pictures leading up to the Olympia, but I think it was just exactly what a lot of people were expecting. A lot of people said Regan is too big for this division. A lot of people said he belongs in men's open bodybuilding. And a lot of people said he wouldn't be able to bring that conditioning. Just the way that weight class makes him cut down like that, you're not going to have the best looking physique when you carb back up and try to fill back out. A drastic weight cut like that is always going to make you have a weird look to your physique, or a softer look to your physique when you try to rapidly fill back up and carb up. So I think 8th place here is definitely not what Regan was expecting to get. I think he was certainly expecting to be a top 6, possibly even a top 3 guy. Of all the videos I made about classic physique, the videos about Regan were some of the most viewed videos, and people were very excited to see how he was going to be able to do. So I'm curious to see from here on out what Regan decides to do, if he decides to go back to men's open bodybuilding or continue to pursue classic physique. Because like I've said before about Regan, I think he does have very classic attributes to his physique. He's got a small waist. He's got a great taper. He can hit a vacuum pose. His classic poses are great. But I think what happens is when you put him on stage with guys with better and more classic physiques and guys with better conditioning, he just looks kind of big, and he doesn't really look like he belongs in the classic division. But when you put him in a men's open bodybuilding lineup, those classic attributes of having a small waist and that good posing, I think they serve him a lot better in open, because a lot of those guys don't have those qualities, and Regan does, and he also has the size when he's in open. So that's why I think Regan placed where he did. So let's get back to Wesley Vissers here. Wesley Vissers, one of the most hyped up guys going into this lineup. He had that much anticipated pro debut at the Chicago Pro. And a lot of people felt his win at the Chicago Pro was, kind of a controversial one. A lot of people liked the guy that took second. So personally, I love Wesley's physique. I love his posing. I love the way he resembles Arnold. I just think he's a great guy, and he's a great representative for the classic division. Now, that being said, Wesley did not do well here, so let's talk about why. So Wesley, like I said, he tied for dead last. And honestly, I think in his individual routine, he didn't look that bad. I mean, when he's standing on his own, he looks very impressive. He's got nice stage presence. His conditioning wasn't horrible, I would say. It was just off. But when you put him in the lineup next to other guys, he just looks kind of blocky. And the reason I say that is just the way his structure is. It's similar to what they say about a guy like William Bonac. Even though they got two completely different physiques, if William Bonac doesn't come in 100% conditioned, he starts to look much blockier because of the way he's built. And I think the same can be said for Wesley Vissers. When he doesn't come in at 100% conditioning, it makes his physique not look as sharp, and it makes him look blockier next to some of these other guys. And I know at the last show he did, we said his tan was too light. But honestly, it's kind of funny. I think at this show, his tan was a little bit too dark for my liking here. So I don't know, he just needs to find the right balance of tan, for one. And for two, he needs to nail that conditioning. Now, this could actually be an issue of the judges saying they don't like Wesley's structure. This could be an issue of the judges saying we don't really like Wesley's physique here for classic, even though in a lot of ways, a lot of fans view Wesley as a very classic physique. The judges might have made a statement here and said, this physique's not classic according to our division. They could have said maybe his legs are too small, he's too blocky, or maybe they didn't like his back. It could be an issue of that, but I think really the main focus needs to be on conditioning. I think the conditioning is what needs to be improved. Like I said with that William Bonac analogy, when you have a guy with a structure that's maybe not the best, or maybe kind of could be viewed as blocky, it looks a lot worse when that guy doesn't come in conditioned. So I think that's the main issue here. So I think if Wesley improves that over the next couple of years, maybe in 2 to 3 years, he could be a top 6 threat. We've seen guys at the Olympia many times go from placing dead last to placing top 6 or top 3 or winning the Olympia, like in the case of Ronnie Coleman. So I wouldn't write off Wesley Vissers just yet. I think the best is yet to come. So let me know what you guys thought about Wesley and Regan's Olympia debut. Thank you guys for watching the video, and please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.